Tonight, 4 recent San Diego State graduates are underwater after getting their first water bill in more than a year, with a total exceeding $16,000. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. CBS 8 is working for you and has been sharing similar stories of sky-high water bills for months now. Tonight, we also have some important updates for a couple of other stories that we've been following for a long time now. Our David Gottfredson will tell us about a new option for homeowners who lost coverage over wildfire concerns. Kirsten Holmes has been bringing us stories of flood victims for months now. Today, an update from families who are still looking for long-term housing solutions.
But we start with Jenny Day, who has more from the students who were hit with that surprising $16,000 water bill. Jenny?
Yeah, so right when you pull up to this home that's about a half mile from SDSU, you can see water pooling in the street. The women who live here tell me it's been like this for months now, following construction in the area, but still no word yet if it's connected to their sky-high water bill. Now, I also spoke with other neighbors who say their bills are normal.
Previous September and then go to this
and January.
This first one right here in January of 23. This said we used 400,000 gallons in 2 months.
The women who live here just graduated from SDSU. Isabella, Bella, Mariah, and Lyric. All of their hopes and dreams in front of them, except now they have a water bill hanging over their heads, basically the size of a student loan.
I swore it said 1,600, and I was like, well, that's a gut punch, but it makes sense for the past 16 months. And then I zoomed in on it and I was like, oh, there's an extra digit there. It's 16,000. What are we gonna do?
The first 2 months they lived here, the bill was under $200. Then it spiked to $670, but went back down. They tell me then the bills stopped coming altogether.
Would go into my account, check. It would always say a balance of 0. It'd say no pay period, nothing, no bill at this time.
The last bill they did receive was in December 2022. Nearly a year later, an email came from the water district saying their bill had been flagged for abnormal use and to sit tight. Another 6 months passed with no word, and then they were sent this one.
We're all just we're just in shock, confused, and we knew there was no possible way we use that much water.
It shows at one point they were using 6,000 gallons of water a day. The average household is about 10,000 gallons every 2 months.
Because we actually had a maintenance man come out to the house a few days ago, and he did not find a leak anywhere.
We checked the meter too, and with all of the water off in the house, no signs of a leak. They say they don't even use the sprinklers, the pool is routinely serviced, and their showers are under 10 minutes.
It's been very hard to navigate as we're graduating and beginning to move out of this house, to have this on top of that. It's been a real worry and a real concern. So I'm just hoping we can get it figured out.
The City of San Diego's Public Utilities Department tells me the reads for this house are accurate, and they will submit a review for it to be adjusted. As of March, though, there's a backlog of more than 20,000 other customers whose bills are being withheld. Yeah, and the city tells me that it will take about 6 to 8 weeks until we figure out what these girls will actually have to pay. Working for you in the college area, Jenny Day, CBS 8.
Kind of frightening as we've been following these stories. These people just, unsuspectingly open up their bills for thousands of dollars. What kind of advice do you have for other people who may find themselves in the same situation?
Yeah, so the city tells me that there will not be any late fees and that your water will stay on until they're able to get your bill figured out. And we should mention the city water department was actually audited 5 years ago, and I'm told that they have been working on these issues ever since. Marcella, back to you.
All right, I hope they can find a resolution for those students. Thanks so much, Jenny. Some good news tonight for tens of thousands of Californians who are bracing to lose their homeowners insurance with State Farm.
CBS 8 is working for you and has learned that some customers may be able to keep their State Farm insurance as a companion policy to the California Fair Plan. CBS 8's David Goffredson talked to an insurance expert to sort out the options for homeowners.
The DIC policy is a homeowner's policy excluding the peril of fire.
It's called a difference in conditions policy, DIC, and it covers everything except fire damage. Californians became familiar with these policies after State Farm announced in March that it would not renew some 30,000 homeowners policies statewide. Working for you, I reached out to independent insurance agent Carl Sussman.
State Farm has always offered what's called a DIC policy, which is the companion policy that goes on top of the California Fair Plan.
Now, State Farm says it will start offering DIC companion policies to its non-renewed customers who qualify for fire insurance through the California Fair Plan. Many State Farm customers have been turning to lesser-known companies like Bamboo Insurance.
Dollar for dollar, if you're looking at a DIC policy with Bamboo versus a DIC policy with State Farm, I think it's a safe bet to say that the State Farm DIC is going to be less expensive.
Keep in mind, homeowners are still likely to pay more for a Fair Plan policy paired with a State Farm companion policy.
Rates are going to be higher in California for property insurance more than they were, say, 5 years ago. Where we are right now is higher than they need to be, and that's because this is basically the antithesis of zero competition.
But Sussman says that could change when new insurance reform laws go into effect by the end of the year and insurance companies start to come back to California.
When we do have a free market again and we have hundreds of companies writing, then again, just by competition, we'll see rates go down.
So what does that mean for State Farm customers?
I think it's fair to say that if they're purchasing a DIC policy with State Farm today, before that policy renews, right, which is a year, the likelihood is better than not that State Farm will have other offerings for them when the policy renews than they do today.
Another thing to consider, by staying with State Farm, existing customers may qualify for a multi-policy discount if, for example, they have auto insurance with State Farm. David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Thank you, David. And State Farm says the companion policies will become available to customers on July 3rd.
Homeowners should contact their State Farm agent to set it up. San Diego County says it is ready to transition January flood victims out of their emergency temporary hotel program to a more long-term solution. But some flood victims we talked with say their homes aren't ready, and their applications for assistance for long-term recovery are getting denied.
CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes is following this story for us and joins us live now with an update. Kirsten?
Yeah, we have been working for you all day to try to clear up some of the confusion around what's happening next for flood victims as they continue to rebuild nearly 5 months after the storm. We've been working with the county and the City of San Diego's Housing Commission, and they tell us there's more than $4 million available for help. But what we've found is that there's this gap getting those very valuable dollars to the flood victims who desperately need them.
It's a race against the clock. The families are leaving as June 21st, and we're looking to try to get as many people and families back home as possible.
Armand Harvey with the Harvey Family Foundation has been on the ground since day one with several other community-based organizations helping January's flash flood victims rebuild. Now that San Diego County is looking to move January storm victims from the county's emergency temporary lodging program to more longer-term housing solutions by June 21st, Armand says families who lost everything are dealing with even more confusion and need stability.
They don't want to be somewhere else. They don't want to be displaced. They don't want to get shipped out to Mission Valley, El Cajon, and Vista. They want to be right where they were born at, right where their family is, stay in the homes that they grew up in.
Jessica Kaliex lost her home in the January 22nd flood.
2 weeks of stay, friends helped us. Then for 2 weeks, YMCA provided us housing, which was phenomenal. Then it transitioned to county, which was really, really hectic. Lots of moving hotels last minute. Now here we are. I've exhausted that FEMA rental assistance. Most of us aren't qualifying for extended 18 months assistance because it's income-based. So they have a formula of affordability based off like your previous wages and rent versus like your current, and most people are not qualifying.
Okay, so we reached out to the San Diego County and the San Diego Housing Commission, who both tell us there are no income restrictions for the assistance that they provide. Now, one flood victim we talked to today said FEMA is denying on certain criteria, but they say there are other avenues to try if you get denied by FEMA. Now, for those of you who have lost your homes or have any damage from the floods and you are looking for assistance, you must apply for help. And there are several groups from the county, the city, FEMA, and volunteer organizations willing to help. go to our website, CBS8.com, and click on the Help button. Reporting for CBS 8, I'm Kirsten Holmes.
Thanks, Kirsten. A proposal to protect California's workers from extreme heat could now be extended to school children.
A state worker safety board will vote on this plan on June 20th. It would require indoor workplaces to be cooled to below 87 degrees Fahrenheit when employees are present and 5 degrees cooler in some situations. Schools and other work sites without AC can use fans, misters, or other methods to bring down the temperature. Many California schools are experiencing more hot days than in the past because heat waves are hitting earlier in the year when school is still in session. Right now, parts of San Diego County are under an excessive heat warning.
Other parts aren't even seeing the sun. CBS 8's chief meteorologist Carlene Chavis has more on the areas most affected by that heat right now. Carlene.
Just one. You got the desert. The desert has been seeing the heat over the past couple of days, and we're still going strong with that heat, but things look to calm down by this weekend. So highs for today, you're talking about 106 for Borrego Springs. Also still dealing with some 80s, and that's actually in near seasonal range across the inland valleys. And talking about no sun, that was the coast. 60s, one out today. When we look at our current temperatures, we are seeing that cloud cover extend even more towards inland areas. 70s when it comes to most of your inland temperatures, with those 60s still going strong, and finally out of the triple digits for Borrego Springs. So we did have those hot highs today between 104 to 109 across the desert, but that excessive heat warning will expire at 9 p.m. tonight. We'll go ahead and take a look at your weekend forecasts coming up. Carlo, Marcella.
See you in a few. Thanks, Carlene. A new report shows positive signs for the hiring market.
Still ahead, we'll break down the numbers and share which industries are growing the most.
And a new monument now at our border, welcoming cross-border travelers into the Golden State.